Welcome to Math Mini Lessons. In this video, we're going to talk about and share how to solve a math test for third graders using the da-da-da-da. So when you hit the link, you're going to hit Math, select your grade, which will be third grade, and select your test, but you're going to hit the equation editor on the bottom. Hit Start, hit Continue, and you can X out. And now you have an equation editor for you. We're going to use these buttons to solve 1, 2, and 3 point questions. Start with the 1 point question, number 31, which means we're only going to put an answer. You're not going to have to show work, just put an answer. How many groups of 9 are in 72? The answer for this is 8. So I'm going to use Race to type this in. How many groups of 9 are in 72? There are 8 groups of 9 in 72. So there we go. And that's all they really need to see is really 8. So if you put in just the answer 8, you'd be fine. I just like to write a full answer. There are 8 groups of 9 in 72 because 8 times 9 equals 72. Or you could have said because, or 72 divided by 8, 9 equals 8. Either one of those will work if you wanted to, but really all you had to put was 8. So how do we get this answer? And let me show you the work I probably would have done on my paper. If you know your math facts, I have 72, and I know that 9 times 8 equals 72. I also know that if I had, let's say, covered this up, that 72 divided by 9, if I went this way, 72 divided by 9 is equal to 8. So how do other kids do this? Just so you can see different answers. Some kids would probably just show, again, the same math facts, which is great, and they get full credit. Some kids might skip count by 9s because maybe they don't know their 9 times tables, and that's okay too. If you were just skip counting by 9s and then counting how many times you counted 9, like this kid did. He just went 9 all the way to 72 and counted how many times. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. There are 8 sets of 9. You could do that. This kid drew it. He drew 9 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. Well, he drew 9 inside, 9 little dots and circled it. And then he would draw another 9 little dots and circled it. So in here he has 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63 until he got to 72. So that's another thing that can happen. I don't see all of it drawn out, but I can see that he was just drawing all the 9 dots. That's fine. So that makes a lot of sense. Look at all these different ways that we can get to 72. Now, this kid, of course, he just wrote the answer 72, and that's why he doesn't get any credit because he didn't say there were 8 groups. The next one. This one is another 1 point problem. A circle is cut into 8 equal sized parts. What fraction is each part? So I can see drawing a circle, and I have to cut this into 8 parts. So I like cutting things in half. And in half again. And so far I have 4 pieces, so I'm going to cut them again. And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if all 8 pieces are the same, I'm going to use a fraction with 8 on the bottom because I have 8 pieces. And 1 piece is going to be 1 piece out of 8. So it is 1/8 of a circle. So how can I write that? You can either write 1-8, or you can use this nice little symbol right here for fraction and tap inside, and you tap 1 and then tap on the bottom 8 of a circle. Either one of those is fine. Now you could also restate and write a full sentence and say what fraction of a circle is each part. Each part is, and then you would do the same thing, 1/8 of a circle because you have 8 equal pieces and one piece is 1 out of 8. So those, again, all the different ways you can answer this. Honestly, any of those 3 will work. So let's look at different kid answers that you have here. Again, they were looking for 1/8 as a fraction, or in words, 1/8. So you can write either one of those down. So full credit, again, they don't really need to work. It's just a correct answer provided. This kid just wrote 1/8. So that's enough for us to see that he meant 1/8. That's fine. Now, this kid didn't get any credit. He did draw his circle, and he does have 1 out of 8, but he put the number 7, that this one piece, he just counted these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So unfortunately, he doesn't get any point because he doesn't understand yet what 1 fraction piece is out of 8 equal pieces. So hit pause and practice jotting this one down in your equation editor. Let's review the answer for number 33. This is also 1 point. A square has a side length of 3 feet. What is the area of the circle? So you should get the answer 9 square feet. And how do I know that? If I'm drawing a square, which doesn't look great, and that's okay. I know that the length and the width are 3 and 3, and area is equal to length times width. So 3 times 3 is equal to 9. And again, all I have to put is 9 square feet. I can also see some kids doing 3 rows of 3 and then just counting inside and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they know that each side has to be 3 and 3. So all I would have to write here, what is the area of the square? The area of the square is 9 square feet. So that's really all I need to write, or even just 9 square feet is fine. Or you could even put in 9 square feet because 3 times 3 is equal to 9. That's it. So let's look at some kid answers. So again, they're just looking for 9. So this kid gets full credit because he just wrote 9, and that's all he would type in. This kid has 9 square feet. That's fine. And again, these are 1 point, so you don't have to show work. And this kid just wrote 3 square feet, so he didn't figure out the area. So unfortunately, he doesn't get any points. And again, these are 1 point answers, questions, so you just have to put an answer. Hit pause so you can check your answer and practice typing that into the equation editor. Let's look at number 34 together. The figure below is made up of equal parts. What fraction of the entire figure is each part? And explain how we know. So this is a 2-point question. So what do I see here? I know that these are all equal. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal pieces. So I know each piece is 1 piece out of 6. Because this is 1 part out of 6. Now, how do I know my answer? I know that 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6. If I were to add all of them up, I would get 6 out of 6 or 1 whole. So I need to answer that. So what fraction is each part? So for the bottom, I can just put 1/6, or I can say in a sentence, each part is 1/6. So I can hit the little part like this, 1/6. And I would have to explain in words. So I have to give a because statement. So each part of the figure is 1/6 because there are 6 equal parts. So each part is, I want to put this in words, 1 part out of 6. And then I could even put in my sentence. I could either try drawing this, and I want you to feel what this is like. 1 6 plus, ooh, it should be outside, plus 1 6 plus 1 6, and I want you to feel what this is like to do it, so that the day of the test you don't get tired and feel like it's weird. It's going to feel weird the first time. It just will, because it's new to you, and that's okay. Plus 1 6 is equal, and even look how many mistakes I make when I'm typing. 1 6 4 1 whole. Bam. So there we have it. So that's one way you can do it, because I had to explain it. Another thing you could do is you can hit this little button. Let me make this a little bigger. You can hit this button and you can actually draw your answer. This feels faster for me, but I have to pay attention to how much space I have. Here we go. So this was faster for me to write with my finger than it was to type. And now I would just put add drawing, and it would be in my drawing. And I could just pull down the 3 little dots so we can see the whole thing. So that's it. So you can put in your answer 1 6, but I have to explain why or how I get that answer. So let's look at some other kids to see how they answered it and what points they got. Again, they're looking for 1 6 because there are 6 equal parts, or 1 6 because the whole figure is 6 out of 6, a simple explanation. So this kid did the same thing. So he would have to type this whole answer 1 6, and he even has a drawing in there. And he has full credit, 2 out of 2, one part of the whole, so he understands that. Here's a kid who tried to draw it, and you can kind of see his numbers. It's a little hard to see, but I can kind of see his numbers here. He kind of, let me see, let me get the little pointer. So he counted 1 2 3 for the 3 boxes here in the bottom. He tried to draw 3 boxes, and then there are 2 boxes here, so 4 5, and then 1 on top for 6. And that's what he typed. This is what he typed in there, 1 6, because there are 3 cubes on the bottom, 2 and 2 on the top, and there's 1 on the very top. And 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 6. Since we're doing fractions, 1 piece is 1 6. And this kid gets full credit. He did it on a computer just like you guys. And here, this is another kid answer, full credit, 1 6, because the shape is split into 6 equal parts. So perfect. I think the next one is partial. So this kid has only 1 point. Each figure is 1 6. I know my answer is correct because I counted each square. So he kind of gets, I see what he meant, that there were 6 pieces here, but because he didn't connect that this is 1 piece out of the whole, he only gets 1 point. And this kid typed in, he also gets 1 point. He typed his fractions, 1 6 plus 1 6 plus 1 6, all the way to get 1 whole, but he didn't answer this question, what fraction is 1 piece. He didn't answer that. So unfortunately, he only gets 1 point. You had to have the answer and the explanation. This is a great explanation, but he didn't answer the question. All right, so hit pause so you can practice this, and please practice what it's like to either write that equation down or to draw it with your finger, so you can decide what works for you. So let's look at the next one, number 35. The beginning of a number pattern is shown below, 6, 10, 14, 18. The pattern continues. Is the 10th number in the pattern even or odd? Please be sure to include the rule in your answer. So here's my answer. So I continue the pattern, and I notice that the rule is plus 4. 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14, 14 plus 4 is 18. So my rule and my pattern is to add 4. And I know that when we add even numbers, even plus even numbers, I get an even number. And I even skip counted to get all the way to the end of the pattern, 42. So how do I put that into words? Here's my answer. The 10th number in the pattern is even because the pattern is to add 4. 4 is an even number. When I start adding 4 to 18, I get an even number. An even number plus an even number is always even. The 10th number is 42, which is even. So that's it. I explained my answer, I gave the rule, and I gave evidence how I know. That's what they're looking for. So here's some other kid answers so you can see what they were looking for. So you could have listed the rule, listed all 10 numbers to get to 42, as long as you say that the 10th number is even. Or you can say again the 10th number is even because the rule is to add 4 and you know you're adding even numbers. Here's a kid who got 2 points for doing the same thing. He added up to 42 and you can read his answer. He says the pattern is even and he counted by 4s and 4 is even. So he gave a because. This kid also put in, I know the 10th number is going to be even because it starts with an even number and we're counting by 4s and 4s is even. So he recognizes that and he gets full credit. Even this kid gets full credit. He just finishes the pattern and just says even. Gets full credit because he answered the question and he's giving us reasons why with his pattern. That's his work. So again, remember, you have paper. You don't have to copy everything that's on the paper in here. So let's look at this next one. This one's interesting. This kid only gets 1 point. He goes all the way to 42, but because he doesn't say his answer is even, he only gets 1 point. So hit pause and check your work and practice writing down this answer so you can feel what it's like to type an answer like this in the equation editor. How would you answer this? Do you want to list the numbers or would you explain it in words? How would I write this one? This was the time question. How am I going to put this and show my work? Am I going to draw it or am I going to type it? I got to make a decision. So here we go. John starts reading his book at 5:20. He reads for 45 minutes and then plays video games for 30 minutes. What time does he stop playing? So I'm going to tell my story. The start is 5:20. He adds 45 minutes for reading plus 30 minutes for games. And I want to know what time does it end. All right, so how am I going to do this? I'm going to start by going, well, I like going by hours. So I'm going to make a number line. I like my story this way. It starts at 5:20, and I know I need to add 45 minutes. But I know that's going to be past 6 o'clock because 5:20 plus 40 minutes gets us to 6 o'clock. So how many more minutes is that? So 40 minutes. So if I add 5 more minutes, I get to 6:05. So this is the time he finishes reading. And then I'm going to add 30 minutes. And that's easy. I can do that in my head. That's 6:35. So that's the time it ends. So how am I going to put this into work? I can definitely answer this bottom part. At what time does he stop playing video games? He stops playing video games at 6:35. So even if you just wrote 6:35, that's okay. Either one of those is fine. How am I going to show this in my work? I could either draw this. So here's one thing you can do. I can draw my number line and do 5:20 and write plus 45 is equal to 6:05. It's hard to draw the dots. So just so you know. And plus 30 minutes is 6:35. I can do that and that shows my work. So you might be saying, Sarah, why didn't you put 5:20 plus 40 plus 5? I can. I just be making a harder drawing for myself. And my drawing just helped me see this part here. It just helped me know how to add 5:20 plus 45 minutes. So I just made my drawing quick and easy so I can see it. Another thing I could do is I could do it this way. 5:20 plus 40 is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock plus 5 is equal to 6:05. And 605 plus 30 is equal to 635. And because I want them to know these are minutes, I can put this 30 minutes, and I can put 5 minutes, and I can just put, I can do that. That also works for showing it. So either one of these really shows that I knew how to add the time. And this second one shows how I split. And I can even say it, I split 45 minutes into 40 plus 5 minutes to add time. Easier. That works. So you can do a drawing and then you can show with the math. So let's look at some math that other kids did. So this is an answer that looks a lot like mine. Quick and easy, where we just added the time, and that was enough. And again, they put their answer here, 635. Here's another way where a kid added the 40 minutes first, and then the 5 and the 30. That was fine. Here's a kid who added all the minutes, 45 minutes plus 30 plus 75, and got an hour 15, and then put the start time plus an hour 15 to get it. That's a great strategy. Any of those could work. So here's the first kid. First kid has an awesome drawing, and he's showing how he's adding the times to get the 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then added that to get 635. So that's full, and this picture shows his work. My question is, how would we type this picture in our equation editor? Because it's not easy to draw this circle and all these little dots. So that would be my question. Here, this is a kid who typed it, and notice he did just like we did. He typed the 45 minutes and then typed the 30 minutes. So he just put it like this and got it. And again, his work page probably looks very different, but again, it's easier to type that, and it just shows his work. This kid also did a number line, and he just kept on adding the minutes up together, 10 plus 10 plus 10. So he knew that the 45 minutes, he didn't show how he got to this, but then he showed how he added the extra minutes to get to here, and that was enough. So that's cool. I would have liked to see how he added the 45 minutes in the beginning though, but we know he did that to get to this. This kid doesn't get the full credit. He gets only to 630, even though he has the right answer here. He drew this on the equation editor and he got the right answer and copied the wrong part here. So that's a shame. That's that's not a fun way to lose a point, especially when your work is right. And here's another kid who tried adding. So he tried adding in, he split the 45 minutes to get to 6 o'clock, but he didn't do the second set. He didn't add another 30. So hit pause so you can jot this down and check your work. Did you get to 635? And for you to practice, how would you show your work in this equation editor? Below, you have to write a 4-digit number with a 3 in the hundreds place. So tons of different answers here. So I need to have a 4-digit number. I know these are my ones. Actually, I'm going to just draw it differently so you have it. My ones, my tens, my hundreds, and here are my thousands. So as long as I have a 3 here, what can the other numbers be? So I can just put 2, 8, 5. I can do that. And as long as I explain why. So here's my number. And there are lots of answers here. So as long as you have a 3, you could have had 8, 5, 2. So it has a 3. You could add a 3 here and put 2. Actually, what if I wanted 5, 8, 2? Any of those can work. So I'm going to put my first answer 2, 3, 8, 5. Because the 3 is in the hundreds place. So let's see if that's enough of an answer. And then use what you know about place value up to identify the value of each digit. Okay. 2 is 2000. 8 is 80. And 5 is 5. Or 5 ones. All right, so I can put that. I could even go further. It's 80 because I have 8 tens. That works. And the 2 is 2,000 because I have 2 thousands. Okay, there's my answer. So let's see what other kids wrote. Someone wrote a very similar answer to mine. The 2 is in the thousands, the 3 is in the hundreds, the 8 is in the tens, the 5 is in the ones. So here's a kid, they wrote a different number, but again, the 8 is in the thousands, the 3 is in the hundreds, the 5 is in the tens, the 2s are in the ones. Full credit. Another kid drew a picture. This works. Why didn't I think about this? I could have drawn this in there, but I want you to also think about what it's like to draw that. So in real time, if I try to draw that, I can do this, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones, and my number was 2,300, or was it 85? What did I have there? 85. So I can do that, and these are like my big flats. This is the hard part, drawing the little things. Like, this is what makes it hard for me, is drawing the pieces, because it's really hard to draw little dots. So that's my only problem with doing this, is how to draw it. So, but I can do this, and I can do like, I can write 2 times 1,000, 3 times 100, 8 times 10, 5 times 1, and add that. So you could do that, and I just want you to see how hard it is. Like, this is weird for me to write with my finger. The other time it was easy for me to draw it, this one was not. So I want you to practice this. How would you show your work for this? Would you write it in words, or would you try to draw a picture? And what would that picture look like? Practice it so you don't get frustrated the day of the test. And this is a 3-pointer. Sandra ate 2 6 of a pizza. George ate 3 6 of a pizza. Sandra says she ate more pizza than George. George says he ate more than Sandra. Who is correct? I have to say who's right, and I have to use these symbols to explain it and to show what I know about fractions. So I have to do a lot in this problem. All right, so which is bigger? I'm just going to draw them as if they're the same. Here's 6 pieces. Here's 6 pieces. Sandra had 2. George had 3. This is much bigger than that one. So 2 6 is less than 3 6. So there's my answer. George is correct. All right, so I have a lot of stuff to put in here. So here's my answer. George is correct because, and I'm going to put in my fraction, 3 6 is bigger than, is greater than 2 6. The pieces are the same, but 3 pieces are greater than 2 pieces. All right, and so the other thing I'm going to want to do here, maybe I want to draw this. So I'm going to draw it out. And here's 2 6. And here's 3 6, and show that that's more. And there's my answer, so you can see not only do I have it as a sentence, I wrote my answer out, but I have a picture that also shows it. So hit pause and check this in your work as well.